Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today I'm doing a deep dive into the 2024 presidential elections. This video focuses on the Senate seat in the state of Florida. So Florida and its voting history, in 2022 it was won by Republican incumbent Marco Rubio with 16.4% margin of victory. In 2018 it was won by then Republican governor going up against Democratic incumbent Senator Bill Nelson. Rick Scott, the Republican governor who is running for re-election this year, won this seat by just 0.12% of the vote, so a very, very close race, insanely close, really couldn't get any closer. And in 2016, Rubio won by 7.7%. Right now, the current polling average has Rick Scott, the Republican senator, at 48.8%, the Democratic challenger at 43.8%. As for the national vote of the elections for the Senate at the same time, in 2022, the Republicans won nationwide across all the Senate seats by a margin of vote of 0.1%. In 2018, the Democrats won overall by a margin of 19.9%, and in 2016, the Democrats won by a margin of 10.8%. The current congressional polling average as of the day I'm recording this video has Republicans favored by 0.8%, and that is an average across the three elections of 10.2%. So looking at how Florida voted compared to the national vote, in 2022, Florida voted 16.3% more Republican than all the Senate votes of the United States. In 2018, Florida voted 20 points more Republican than all the Senate seats of the United States. And in 2016, Florida voted 18.5% more Republican than all the margin of victory results of all the Senate seats in the United States. That is an average difference between 2016 and 2022 of Republican plus 18.27%, and that's a difference of 2018 and 2022 of 18.15%. Now, the two candidates for Florida Senate race are Republican incumbent Senator Rick Scott and Democratic challenger Debbie Mucarsel-Powell. She's a Democratic candidate, Scott's a Republican candidate, and it should be a very, very close race from what things are showing right now. The current presidential forecast, Real Clear Politics has this as a lean for Rick Scott. Salvador Crystal Ball has it as likely for Scott. 538 also has it as likely for Scott. Decision Desk HQ in the Hill has it as lean for Scott. And Click Political Report has it as likely for Scott. So most of the forecasters agree there is a advantage for Rick Scott to win this race right now. They just disagree on the margins and whether it'll be over or under 5% of the vote margin of victory. Some of the polling right now, Real Clear Politics currently has Rick Scott at 5% lead over Murcarsel-Powell. 538 has Scott up 4.7%. 270 to win has Scott up 5%. Decision Desk HQ in the Hill has Scott plus 4.1%. That is an average across these polling averages of 4.7%, which would technically put it in the lean Scott column, not the likely Scott column, because it's under 5% margin of victory. Some key counties I'm watching for in the state of Florida. Most of these are the big population vote centers in Florida, starting with Miami-Dade County, a county that in 2016 the Democrat won by 11.3%, 2018 the Democrat won by 21.14%, and in 2022, the Republican won by 9.45%. This is an area that used to be a very big Democratic stronghold, now is becoming more and more competitive, and it's possible in 2024 at the presidential level, Donald Trump may win Miami-Dade County, and at the Senate race, we're watching to see if something similar happens here. If Rick Scott's winning Miami-Dade County, that's a very good sign for him. If he's losing it closely, that's also a good sign for him. If Murcarsel-Powell is able to get the margins of like 2018, that would be a very good sign for her chances. We're going to have to wait and see how it looks there. Next, Hillsborough County, this is where the city of Tampa is. It was Republican plus 0.5 in 2016, Democrat plus 8 in 2018, and Republican plus 6.45 in 2022. Once again, we're watching the margins in Hillsborough County, seeing if it aligns. Murcarsel-Powell, to do well, has to get close to the 2018 margins and exceed them slightly, whereas Rick Scott is just trying to get as close to the 2022 margins as possible to be able to win. So we're going to be watching Hillsborough and see what the margins are here. Be very interesting to see what it looks like in the presidential race as well, to see if there's any down ballot effect in the Senate race. Next is Pinellas County. This is where the city of St. Pete is. This was a 2.8% win for the Republicans in 2016, a 5.23% win for the Democrat in 2018, and then a Republican 7.51% win in 2022. Duval, Jacksonville, this was a 16-point win for Republicans in 2016, a 1.7% win in 2018 for the Democrat, and then a 9-point win for the Republican in 2022. Again, we're watching the margins in all of these counties, and this is going to be one to watch for as well. Orange County, this is where the city of Orlando is. It was a 12.7% win in 2016, a 23.9% win in 2018 for the Democrat, and an 11.91% win for the Democrat in 2022. So again, we're watching this area to see what the margins are looking like on election night in 2024. What we're looking for is if Murcarsel-Powell's running similar to this number, maybe she's doing so throughout the state. If she's not, she's running the same numbers as 2022, then it looks like Scott's in for a very good night. So we're going to have to wait and see what these areas look like on election night. The county map of Florida in 2022, Marco Rubio, the Republican incumbent senator, faced off against his Democratic challenger, Val Demings. Rubio got 57.7% of the statewide vote. Demings got 41.3%. Pinellas County was 53 to 45.5, a win for Rubio. Hillsborough was 52.6 to 46.1, a win for Rubio. Miami-Dade 54.3 to 44.8, a win for Rubio. Orange County 55.4 to 43.5, a win for Demings. And Duval County 54 to 44.9, a win for Rubio. That was 2022. Now looking at 2018, where this was a very close election. The last time Rick Scott was on the ballot, he barely defeated Democratic incumbent Senator Bill Nelson. Very, very close, 50.1 to 49.9. And it was a lot of flips from what 2022 was for Rubio. Pinellas County was 52.6 to 47.4. Bill Nelson won there. Hillsborough County 54 to 46, a win for Nelson there. Miami-Dade 60.6 to 39.4, a win for Nelson. Orange County 61.9 to 38, a win for Nelson. And Duval County 50.9 to 49.1, a very close win for Nelson. 2016, Marco Rubio went up against his Democratic challenger. I'm forgetting the candidate's first name, but his last name was Murphy. Rubio got 52%, and the Democratic challenger Murphy got 44.3%. Pinellas County is 48.8 to 46 for Rubio. Hillsborough, very, very close, 48.1 to 47.6, a win for Rubio. Miami-Dade, 54.6 to 43.3, a win for Murphy. Orange County, 54.4 to 41.7, a win for Murphy. And Duval County, 56.3 to 40.1, a win for Rubio. I think in terms of what we might expect on election night, we're probably looking at something similar, maybe a 2016 map where it's going to be about a likely to lean Republican win. I don't think a 16-point win is going to be happening for Rick Scott on election night. I think we're more likely going to see a 2016 to 2018, somewhere in between of what a map might look like. Whereas the Republican vote across the last three elections, Florida, Rubio got 57.7% in 2022. 2018, Rick Scott got 50.1%. 2016, Rubio got 52%. That is an average of 53.3% across the last three elections. And a range of 42.5 to 65.3 when you take the high total minus the low total and then add that difference to the high end and the low end. That gets 42.5 on the low, 65.3 on the high. On the Democratic side, in 2022, the Democratic candidate got 41.3%. 2018, Senator Nelson got 49.9%. And 2016, the Democratic challenger got 44.3%, an average across the three elections of 45.2%. And a range of 32.7% on the low end, 58.5% on the high end, taking the high number minus the low number, getting a difference of 8.6%, adding and subtracting to the high and low ends. That's the range we get for 2024. This shows that the average or the estimated range when you're looking at it, the Democratic floor is lower than the Republican floor, and the Republican high is higher than the Democratic high. But in both cases, 50% is very attainable for both parties. So certainly this is a winnable race for both parties. The Republicans do have a slight advantage based on the last three elections, but it is certainly winnable for both parties. For my prediction for the state of Florida in the 2024 Senate race, I do have Rick Scott, the incumbent, winning re-election with 51.8% to Murcarsel-Powell's 45.7%, a margin of victory of 6.1%. For a little while, it looked like this could be a very close race, under 2 to 3% of the vote in the polls. However, I think as the election has gotten closer, Rick Scott's able to go up about 2 or 3% more in the polls in the final few weeks and final few days. And I think him being on the ballot at the same time as President Trump in the state of Florida is going to help him out a lot, as well as some early voting data that's looking pretty good for Republicans in Florida. I think will be enough to give Rick Scott a victory that would go in the likely Republican column at 6.1%. Looking at the 2024 Senate map, right now Republicans would have 50 Senate seats, Democrats would have 43. You may also notice Montana is filled in red on this map. I did a previous deep dive in the state of Montana on my channel, so make sure to go check that one out if you're interested in that. But Florida added to the Republican column. That's 50 for the Republicans, 43 for the Democrats. And we have another deep dive coming out very, very soon. That will be on the state of Texas, where Senator Ted Cruz is up for re-election. That should be a very good video as well. Please remember to stay tuned for that one. That will do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to give it a like. And if you really liked it, please remember to click the subscribe button and make sure you turn post notifications on so you always get notified when I post a new video. That way you never miss one. Also, please remember to share this video with your friends and family if you really, really, really like the video. And remember to stay tuned because I'll be posting at least one video every single day leading up until Election Day. So I'd really appreciate it if you keep coming back and watching those videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video.